I wake up in the morning and you're automatically thinking about like rolling bread. And if you talk to the people who roll bread, everyone enjoys it. It's the aspect of the job that we all really like to do. And I think it's something that we all, regardless of the language or your culture or your ethnicity, we connect with. And there's a sense of pride. Like we look around and we never say it so much, but we all want to create the perfect loaf of bread.
The whole operation is based on a loaf of bread and a biscotti. And that's really, my grandparents started with that loaf of bread, and it's still the primary product that we make every day, 7 days a week.
There's a lot of shortcuts you could take in the food industry, and we don't. Like it takes a long time to make a really good loaf of bread. Everything's still rolled by hand like it was done 100 years ago. It's a pretty incredible experience to start with just raw ingredients, flour, salt, water, yeast, and to make something that's beautiful and make something that's consumed within your own community. When you have like a really like handcrafted artisan loaf of bread, you're sort of like, whoa, bread could be this?
I think that's what motivated all of us in the end, was here we could do something that we could actually stamp our name on, literally and figuratively. This is something that you could do with your life, with your work life, and actually have something when you're done, and something that you could be proud of.
Yeah, so take bread, for example. Pretty simple ingredients, pretty simple formula. Hasn't changed in 100 years, and people want it now more than ever.
Bakeries are on a national upswing. Bread bakeries have popped up all over the country, and it's just showing you the health of the industry, really, and that there's still a place for small retailers. This is a great thing, and manufacturers, because a bakery is not a retailer, they're a manufacturer. They're taking raw ingredients and turning them into something else. And that is, as I think I had in an economics class, the only real wealth that's created.
Bakeries are culturally driven. In our case, we're Italian. People tend to know what they're getting when they come to us.
The biggest change was when we started shipping outside of the area to New York and around the country, and that really opened us up to a much bigger audience, and that was, very, very interesting and very exciting.
So now people in the community say, well, geez, I saw your stuff in Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue. Wow, that's really something. You step up your game because you want to live up to that now,
Particularly in e-commerce and website sales. That was an opportunity for us to grow, and has grown considerably.
People are regularly ordering bread, peanut sticks, things that they grew up with, and now we're sending them to Michigan or Chicago or, Florida and all different places.
They come to our website in large part because they are seeking that nostalgia. Oh, I grew up on that. That's what Grandma used to always have when I used to come home. She used to always have that on the counter, right? And that is a very, very powerful connection to people in your community. Very, very powerful, and not one to take for granted at all.
The products are what really brings you to 100 years. That and a lot of hard work.
The community has kept us in business for 100 years. That's amazing.
Our whole family is very proud and excited that we've gotten to this 100-year milestone. It's not just, the immediate family, the secondary family, it's the employees here. It's the workers here that we've known all of our lives in many cases.
It is a family business. Family's first, business is second.
Knowing that people come from different experiences, different backgrounds, but if you're willing to work hard, you have a job here.
People I see every day that I've known all my life, So those waters run deep.
Knowing that you're also doing something that generations before you have done is a pretty remarkable experience, thinking like, wow, my grandpa was probably doing the same thing that I'm doing, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, and you're doing the same thing, and looking at your brother, my brother Matt, who will come in and help roll bread, or my Uncle Tom, And you're kind of looking around saying, wow, this is who we are. This is like our family legacy is making bread and baking. The camaraderie that you get with baking bread together is a pretty incredible experience, and I love that.
I always find time to try and go down there and roll a loaf of bread or two once or twice a week if I can. So it's kind of an important reminder of where you came from.
Well, it's a humbling experience, actually, to think that my grandparents started this business 100 years ago, and now we're into a fourth generation, and that's very encouraging.
You know, your great-grandmothers, they kept it going through, hardships and challenges, and then, my father and his brothers, they kept it going, and now, this next generation, you hope that you can continue the work that they've done, but also create sort of your own stamp on it too, and keep it going so that if it is something that my children want to do, that they have that opportunity. Because I think it is a pretty unique experience to work in a family business like this, especially in the baking business. I'm very fortunate. It's pretty cool. Like, it's a cool thing to be doing with your life, and I hope that if that's something that my kids want to do, that we're in a position that they could potentially come in and work and take it over as well.
I want to work at a bakery because I love cooking. I like making stuff. Cupcakes, donuts.
Each generation has brought something more to the organization, and I think Dan are going to do the same. They're going to bring something, probably order to the chaos.
It's a huge, huge plus when the boys came back into the business, and I just hope we got another 100 years in us.
There's a lot of humility and a lot of gratefulness when you think about the longevity of this business. For us to have had 4 generations now is a big thing, and wonderful that we've gotten to 100 years because of that.